Tuesday. We are 9 days away from Christmas, which is so freaking crazy. We are less than double digits now. Last night, I finished A Little Holiday Fling. I actually really liked it. At first, I was feeling kind of mid about it, but I really like how it turned out. It was kind of predictable and Hallmarky, but honestly, I love that, especially in romances. Sometimes it's just what I need. So I gave this a 4 stars. I thought it was cute. The next one that I'm starting is going to be A Curse for True Love, which is the last book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. And then since today's Tuesday, I do want to get a big chunk of my audiobook done. I feel like I don't really talk about this, but I have this little personal thing that I do where every Tuesday, Thursday, I focus on audiobook listening. And then on Monday, it used to be New Music Monday, where I listen to an artist that I've either been wanting to get into or an artist that someone recommended me. But I haven't done New Music Monday in a long time, but I want to bring it back when I start student teaching because I feel like that's a good way to connect with students, is have them recommend me artists to listen to for New Music Monday. But Tuesday and Thursday are always my audiobook days. So I think today I'm going to mainly focus on that and then bring A Curse for True Love to work with me to read during work. Not during work, but like during my breaks and stuff. Yeah, it is like 10 a.m. I definitely slept later than I wanted to, but I was so tired. I stayed up late last night trying to finish this book, and then I was also watching Smosh, so it's been a late night. But let's do Advent. I cannot believe Christmas is this close. Okay, we are looking for day 16. Here she is. She's in the little night window. Okay, this one is a house. How cute. All right, Advent is done. If you're wondering where the book calendar is, I left it in my Muncie apartment, and honestly, I wasn't even feeling it that much, so I don't know what I'm gonna do with it when I get back, but we'll see. Howdy, friends. So I'm gonna leave for work in a little bit here, but I did quickly just want to take some time to talk about my reading goals for 2026. I feel like I do this video pretty often, and I just posted on Instagram about it last night, and I realized that I hadn't talked about it yet. So I have 4 main reading goals. Also, my blinds are going crazy right now, so sorry about the lighting, but I have 4 main reading goals. A book count, a genre goal, and then 2 sustainability goals. So 4 total. My book count is 100 books. Now, that's on the lower end. I typically average about 150, maybe a little bit more. But I am student teaching all throughout the spring, which means my days are going to be full of work. And I will be helping out at shows both at my school and at schools in the surrounding area. Hopefully. I've reached out to a couple, I've reached out to my high school alumni, and then I'm planning on reaching out to my middle school alumni and seeing if they need help in either of those areas. And then my weekends are going to be spent, you know, going back to Muncie, seeing my friends. I'm going to still be going to therapy in the evenings once a week, working out, doing all this stuff. So I don't have a lot of free time. So I rely a lot on audiobooks during my commute and ebooks when I'm on the go. So I think 100 books is very feasible. And then obviously in the summer, I'm hoping to move out and start a new life somewhere else. And so just with all of that happening, I think 100 books is the move. I also do a genre goal, which is basically I pick a genre that I want to explore further that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. And read 10 books of that genre. So this year it was nonfiction, and I read 12 nonfiction books and had a really good time with that. Last year it was sci-fi, and I read 10 sci-fi books. I've decided for 2026 it's going to be classics. I feel like we are in a time right now where literacy is a very powerful tool to have, particularly knowledge of classics and banned books and, you know, the things of the past. And so I really want to build that knowledge. And so I think a focus on classics is really going to help me. And also it's just going to improve me as a reader. It's going to, you know, turn on my critical thinking part of my brain. And I really just want to activate those muscles in my brain. So I'm going to try to read 10 classics in the year of 2026. I already have a few that I'm looking at. As for sustainability goals, my big thing is I am moving out. So I cannot bring my entire bookshelf with me. I'm moving to a smaller space. Like, it's not doable. So I'm going to purge 20% of my bookshelf, and that includes books I'm not going to reread, books that I didn't enjoy, books that I bought in middle school and haven't touched and are still on my shelf, mainly because I reread books. I am a rereader, and I think it's sustainable to do that, because if you buy a book once and never read it again, it's just sitting there taking up space. So I would rather donate it to someone who's going to read it and going to love it and going to enjoy it, and reread books that I love and already have, because that also makes me buy less books because I'm rereading books. So my goal is to purge 20% of my current bookshelf and reread 2 books a month to sort of help with that process. So those are my reading goals for 2026. Comment down below what your reading goals are. I'm very curious to hear. I'm excited to hear. Yeah. Hey everybody, it's like 10 p.m. I have been making content, so I'm currently working on a TikTok/YouTube short to post, so that might be a lengthy process. Also, I started A Curse for True Love today, and I'm literally already almost halfway through. I am flying through it, and I'm almost done with my Christmas audiobook. So honestly, things are going good today. I'm feeling good, but I'm gonna go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and check out my social medias in the description box below. Comment below your bookish goals, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.